Once again, welcome to Exodus Effect, Escaping the Bondage Mindset. Let's go. This topic, I got a title for it. It's called Integrity Attracts Integrity. I repeat, integrity attracts integrity. In these times, let's get into a serious discussion with grown folks. In these times, you know, with men and women, especially in this generation and the generation before, there are some issues, man, that we must deal with. We no longer can sweep things under the rug and acting like we walking on it comfortably. We no longer can do that, man. Don't your feet hurt? You know, let's deal with it. Let's open it up and look what's off in there. Hey, we dealing with some traumas, some triggers, you know, where people are responding to how they deal with reacting to how they deal with their relationships now due to pain in the past. And you know how they use that saying, hurt people hurts people? That's facts. But it's up to us, man. That's why Jesus said, do you want to be made whole? That's a choice. So you could be hurt people hurts people, or you could be healed people heals people. Healed, got an ED. That means something happened in the past. They was hurt, but they made up, you know what, I ain't even gonna push the pain, man. It's all about healing now. And to be able to heal, you got to be able to reveal. I repeat that. Ain't no way of healing nothing without revealing it. Yes, there's a lot of men and women where certain things happen in their lives. The mate they was with, you know, they did some things that messed your mind up. And we all are made for love, to love. We are made from love, for love, to love. You know, so for anybody to walk around and say, you're just so solid and you don't care about showing affection for the next person. You're more about getting your money and this and that. That's just a coping mechanism to cover up. That's called fig leaves, man. That's what that is, to look good but still losing. Now, I get it, because a lot of us been through certain situations where, you know, you got that survival energy. It's protection devices. You know, I don't want that to happen again to me. So the next one, so you holding your heart in a cage, like old boy say, I got an ice box where my heart used to be. That ain't the way to do it. It said protect your heart. Protect your heart. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. We must do that. And how do we do that, man? All the things that we've been through, not just lessons, man. Not just losses, they are lessons, you know, to level up from the circumstances. Not stay there. Because if we walking around with that energy of, man, I just can't have nobody hurt me, I never want to open up my heart, you're going to attract nothing but that. Because you're operating in that energy. Like some people like to use the terms, what they call it, when you attract what you are, we automatically gonna attract what we are when it comes to whatever energy that we putting out. So if we walking around talking about there ain't no good men, there ain't no good women, guess what you're automatically gonna attract? The law of attraction. You're gonna attract that. Because it said life and death is in the power of the tongue. And you're gonna eat the fruit of your lips. So if you're walking around with that mentality, you can't expect good. It's just that simple. You're gonna get exactly what you're speaking and what you're thinking. So that's the reason why we must heal, man. You know? And I want to say this to a lot of people, man. Because we all can empathize, we can all sympathize. Everybody been through something, man. When you're walking around with that energy where you bashing your ex-mate, don't matter if it's the one you was married to or just in a relationship with, guess what that does? It doesn't matter what they did, but when you bashing and you keeping that energy and you putting it out there to the atmosphere, guess what? the one that's meant for you, you being a repellent. Because they looking at you like, man, I see how you bashing your ex, and I was just about to hook up with you. Oh, man, because it's there. I was just about to hook up with you. But you ain't getting along with your ex, and I see how you going hard and putting all y'all business on, in the atmosphere for everybody, in the public. So they're like, never mind. I was, but man, I ain't got time for all that. It's a repellent, man, for greatness. So the thing is this, man, keep your integrity intact. It doesn't matter what the other person did or is doing. You stay true to who you are. Never put somebody on a pedestal where they change up you, because you know what you did? You made them God. You made them God. It's okay to be hurt, man, because you human. Things happen and people get hurt and hurt your heart. So this is showing a little sympathy and stuff and being sensitive to the needs of others, because we humans, man. We made from love, by love, for love. So sometimes you love the wrong thing. And you get a lesson out of it. The lesson is to learn you and who you are and what you really need, not just what you want. Because especially us as men, man, we seers, man. You might see what BBD say, never trust a big butt to smile. That girl is poor. Been telling you a long time. That girl's poison. Not saying just because you got a big butt, you're poison. But I'm just saying, if that's all you're attracted to, and you never get to know who that person is, you get blinded by the booty, because you never sat down and had a conversation with that person to see all the flags and see if y'all lining up, to see if y'all equally yoked. Because the only thing we was doing to line up with is how we line up in that bed. Can we get along standing up just like we do when we laying down? Can we do that? What do we have in common? What is your goals, man? What is your fears? What's your inspiration? In life, those type of things. How do you deal with certain situations in life when everything ain't going your way? Do you flip? Do you trip? Or do you maintain your integrity? Because that's what you're gonna deal with. Because life has its ups and downs. People that's going through relationships, man, it's not always gonna be peaches and cream. It's gonna be some days y'all gonna disagree. But can you disagree and not argue where you disrespectful? It's okay to disagree but not be disrespectful. It's okay to disagree but not be disrespectful, because they let you know that you are two individuals with your own identity and your own mind and concepts. It's all about coming together to meet on common ground that's gonna suit both of us in a goal, because one don't dictate the whole relationship. Hear what I just said? One, I don't care, man. Hey, get this out your head thinking that women are the, man, hell no. Women are the prize. And get that out your mind thinking that men are the prize. Man, that's that BS, man. That's that BS right there. None of us are the prize, man. The only prize is Christ. The only prize is Christ. Because if you put somebody on a pedestal, you put them above Christ. He's the prize, man. So for us to identify with him, get to them scriptures, especially Ephesians 5, it'll tell us how we're supposed to cultivate the relationship, how it can blossom, how it can grow. And think about it, I'm riding around farmland right now. You don't just throw seeds on the ground and just expect for it to grow. You gotta put in work. You gotta dig low. You have to do that, man. That takes muscle and hustle. That takes also intellect, understanding. You don't have to pray for, if I plant a seed, I don't have to pray for it to work. I just work the principles. I just work the principles. Ain't no, hey, I hope our relationship work. He gave us the book, man. He gave us the instructions. Just like I'm driving this car right now. I need an oil change. The book tell me what type of fluids, exact fluids to use, so I can get the proper ultimate performance out of this vehicle. Now, I can use my own brain to try to use, try to figure it out and probably mess up the car. I can go with the manual. He gave us the manual, man. And for those that don't think the Bible is real, you can be the fool if you want to. You can be a fool if you want to. You dealing with the Bible in prophecy right now, written thousands of years ago, and in effect right now. If you don't believe in that, this just ain't for you. I'm cool with that. I ain't trying to force nothing on nobody. Believe me, straight up. But anyway, for the believers, talking to y'all. Okay, back to relationships. We got to maintain that integrity. There's some people that'll be like, man, if I was you, I wouldn't have that done to me. I would say something, I'd do something, I'd get some get back. But there's a scripture that says, man, stand still to see the salvation of the Lord. Now, y'all go to church. Do you actually really believe that? And not just believe that, do you actually activate that in your life, personal life? It ain't, you know, it says be not just hearers of the word only, it says be doers. So when you actually do the work, you see the effects. You see it. And can't nobody take that from you when you see God working his hand, man, on the land in your life according to his plan. All you gotta do is stand, man, and see the salvation of the Lord. Straight up, man. Operate in your integrity and you attract integrity. Straight up. He will let what's not meant for you fall to the side and you ain't even gotta do nothing. You just sit back and let him do that. While what's ever for you is getting themselves together for you, prepared. Check this out. I'm gonna go into a scripture, man. During the time of hurt and pain and all that type of stuff, that ain't the time to just sit back and be like, oh, pity me. Oh, pity me. That's the time to reflect on self. Not what been done to self. What is the lesson for self? What is the pain? What did I attract in my life? Why I had to go through that? That I need to get over, that I need to identify so I can switch it up and deal with it properly so I can become the best version of myself. Not mediocrity. I want my wings, man. It's time to go through the cocoon. And the cocoon is the dark stage. You go in there by yourself and you're dealing with yourself so you can come out with a new function and be able to fly, because you were just crawling. You were just crawling before. But when you go through those stages where you're dealing with yourself by yourself, with the Heavenly Father going through his process, trust the process, don't complain, but see what's his aim, man, you got the whole everything to gain, man, for real. Eliminating shame. He gonna take you out of the gutter and put you back on that mountaintop, straight up. You just need to stand still and see the salvation in effect. You know, we want that quick process, man, but it ain't about that, because going the long route is where you take your time. Just like I'm riding through the country, I could have went straight home, but I'm observing all this fine farmland, man. Beautiful, beautiful land. I'm taking my time. That's what he want us to do, observe things. What is the lessons, man? It's kind of like on that movie, Colors. When the cop was talking to the older cop was talking to the younger cop, and he gave him a story. He said, he's talking about cows. Well, I'm looking at something. He was he said it's a story about a bull, a young bull and an old bull. And the young bull was like, when we go down there and get us one of those cows. The older bull said, nah, won't we just walk down there and get them all? So it's about getting all the understanding instead of running past it and getting a little bit. Now, back to the relationships. Some things we go through is because he's trying to take us to what's true for us, man. He's not going to give us that full blessing when our mind ain't even right to receive it, because we are self-sabotage. We will destroy the blessing, man. So it's all about elevating your mindset to have that mindset where you can cultivate it and maintain it properly. It's just like you can be a rich man and you got all the money, whatever, but you have a son, and you know you want to share your wealth with your son if you ain't stingy, and you got a Lamborghini waiting on him, you know, But you're not going to give that Lamborghini to him when he, at a young age, when he barely know how to drive. Why? Because he'll ruin that Lamborghini. Now, the Lamborghini is his. It's his. But you got to let him go through a process of learning how to drive a car properly, so he won't ruin a very expensive prize for him that's already his. See, the Heavenly Father already got what's for us, but we got to get through the process of understanding who we are. Let me give you a story in the scriptures. There's a man named Jacob. Everybody know the story about Jacob, the one that had to get his name changed to Israel, you know, because he came out of the womb. He's the second one that was hanging on to his brother's heel, Esau. And check this out. And it said his father said he loved Esau. Why? Because he was a man of the field. He was more what you call a man. He's an athlete. He's a physical man. He the one that go out there, he move his body to do stuff, you know, just like today in the world. You know, all you see is people praising athletes over the enlightened ones, you know, over intellectuals. Athletes over intellectuals, you know, they get more praise, you know. But think about it. Jacob was an intellectual. That's why he says he's a tent dweller. What they mean by that? That's the one that stay in the inside and they reading books and getting all the scholarships and, you know what I'm saying, getting the intellect. Okay, but the father praised the other son, which was a man of the field, athlete and all that type of stuff, more. So that became a insecurity in Jacob, you know. So him with his intellect, he became also a manipulator, because he didn't get the affirmation that he needed from his father. And for every man that said you don't need no affirmation from a man, you a liar. That's the reason why dudes join gangs. That's the reason why dudes, I don't know, doing tricks, jumping off a bridge right now, jumping out of an airplane, because they need that excitement. They need the world to see them. Look, I am a man. Because it's okay for us to want to bond with that masculinity, man. We are made like that. To see a man, you gotta be a man, you gotta see a man. That's straight up, because we are seers, man. That's how we made. And that's a beautiful thing. But so he had the insecurity. So he went through his life with the insecurity, covering it up with fig leaves. And just like we do today, you know, covering up with success. Look, I'm balling, I'm getting the money. I'm getting all this and that. That's cool. But still, there's an insecurity there somewhere that we have to deal with. And check us out. It was a time where he became a man, and it was time for him to marry. And he went into Laman's house, which had 2 daughters. One of the daughters he really loved, man. Her name was Rachel. She was beautiful. And he had another daughter that was named Leah, and that's not the one that he wanted. So his father said, if you work 7 years for me, I will give you the one that you want, which is Rachel, which is the beautiful one. But he worked 7 years, and then Laman tricked him. He said that it is not our customs, our Hebrew customs, to give away the youngest daughter before the older daughter. So it was by law, right? So he had to end up marrying the one he didn't want. And he said, look, if you work 7 more years, I will give you the one that you do want. So I want you to break down what that really means. 7. 7 is the number for completion. Now, we are 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 666. That's man. The mark of the beast is man without the extra element, which is God, that makes it 7. Now, with that, because 7 means completion of understanding, intellect, spiritual. So he worked 7 years and got the one that he didn't want. It says she was tender-eyed, which means she wasn't that attractive. She was not a looker. So with the number 7, which means completion of understanding, he attracted what he was. Remember what I said? You attract what you are automatically, law of attraction. So he was not a looker internally, in his mind and his heart. Why? Because he had an insecurity. Confidence is the real beauty, and not just confidence in yourself, but confidence in Christ. Christ confidence in knowing who you are, because he created us all to be perfect, man. He created us that way. But so he had to deal with that and see what he was, So he worked another 7 years, which means coming to complete knowledge and understanding of self. The first time was to see that he had some deficiencies, insecurities. So he said, you know what, I'll work the 7 more years and get the other one that I do want. So what we doing is right now is working the 7 more years, which means coming to a completion of understanding of who we are. I don't care if you gotta go through therapy or whatever, you know. It's all about getting your mind right to be the best version of yourself. That's what it's about. 7 years of completion. The extra element, Christ consciousness of who he made us to be. Now, with that being said, that's why you can stand still. You ain't got to worry about what somebody else is saying about you, your ex or whatever. You ain't got to worry about that. You ain't got to worry about what they done. You ain't got to worry about that. Why? Because he got that Lamborghini waiting on you, man. It's just that we got to see what it is we have to do to be the best version of ourselves, where we can be able to cultivate and maintain it right. You know what I mean? Because God don't give it to us when we ain't ready. That's called a protection device. That's what that is, man. So with relationships and everybody having the sex battles going on right now, the battle of the genders, you know, man can't trust woman, woman can't trust man. You just can't trust that man, you can't trust that woman. But there's somebody out there that God got for you. And this is one thing I want to tell a lot of people, especially women, man. Quit praying for God to give you a man. Stop that. I'm going to say that one more time so you can make sure you heard me clearly. Stop praying for a man. Stop that. Nobody told you to do that. The word don't tell you to do that. You know what the word tells you to do? Become a wife first. Attract with your energy. Attract with your energy. You ain't got to sit up there and pray for a man. Oh, well, man, you're going to be praying for the rest of your life. Become that wife by your energy. I'm not talking about giving up the goods according to your sex. No, I'm talking about operating in a certain energy where it makes a man be like, that seems like something worth investing in. Because I'm going to tell you just like this. Y'all looking at what's going on, especially with these hip-hop stars or whatever. You know, they exploiting themselves. They all out there. They're not winning. They're not winning, man. I don't care if they got the money or whatever. All these artists and stuff that's getting exploited, they're getting used as a propaganda tactic to devalue men and women. That's what they're getting used for now, and they're gonna pay for that. Why? Because you're gonna breed, because they over-sexualizing them. So just like animals, they don't want animals to think what I say about the 666 without the extra element of understanding who you are. You're just a beast. So they want us to operate as animals. All we know is sex. We don't even know each other. We don't know if we like each other. But we can get down in the bed, and what happens in that? You make another life. So you bring another life into a situation where y'all ain't even stable together, but they grew up dysfunctional because the family's dysfunctional. So it's a repeated cycle. So all we doing is making more soldiers and more inmates and soldiers. You know, people we could use on the battlefield and people we could use to milk them, put them in the penitentiaries because they gonna react because the family ain't together. The father ain't in the household and the mother, she doing whatever she do or whatever. So they don't get that sound foundation. So guess what they gonna resort to? A lifestyle of the cycle of getting put in the system to get used by the system, milked, you know what I'm saying? Where they exploit and capitalize. That is systematic, man. It's been going on for a long time now. But we gotta break that cycle. We ain't gotta stay there and just say, it's the system. You know what? God said to Moses, I will make you a god to Pharaoh. I will make you a god to the system, which means the system don't control you. The system will become your footstool, straight up. Yeah, we got to get into an understanding. And so in these relationships, man, it's okay to go through your pain, man, but hold some type of integrity. You know, go see some therapy or something, anything. You got to deal with yourself, man. Ain't by just pointing fingers at the next, because you're going to miss out on your next. Pointing fingers at the ex, you know? It's all about dealing with yourself so you can become the greatest version of yourself. So you can attract the greatest version of yourself in the mirror, the opposite sex of you. And I don't do this woman on woman, man on man. No, that's from Satan. Satan wants that. Why? Because that's called population control. That's a tactic that he's using to keep the numbers reduced so he can get each other. If he can get both sexes to cohabitate with each other of the same sex, there's no life being produced out of that. So he reduces the numbers. All you're getting out of it is a nut. That's it. A nut. That's all you're getting. But he said be fruitful and multiply. Why? Because you might be bringing in to the world the next person that's going to do some great things for humanity. But Satan don't want that. He wants you to just get a nut and defile yourself. That's not love. No, they be like, love is love. Man, that's from Satan. Love is God, man. And what did God say? He said, nah, man, in Leviticus, he said, man shall not lie down with another man as he lied with a woman. And a woman ain't supposed to do the same thing. Straight up. Now, we ain't gonna stay there. It is what it is. We ain't gotta explain it. It just is what it is. Don't dance around a subject, so-called ministers, and don't ever want to preach this to your congregation. I don't know why they there. If you ain't gonna get on the truth, the blood will be on your hands. The word says that, not me. We gotta speak the truth, man. Because these people need healing. And the way to talk to them is sometimes you might have to tell them about your dirt a little bit. We ain't perfect. We've been whoremongering. If you're a man that been with a woman that you wasn't even married to, that's whoremongering. You've been out there. You've been out there. But it's about bringing it back, man, to God's principles. You know, and showing the world that we don't have to stay there, man. We can elevate and get it straight. Everybody can talk about all these podcasts and all this. You got the passport bros, you got the men going their own way, you got the we don't like women no more. What the hell? Something wrong with you. You are bitter. All this, what they call it, the manosphere and all that. Man, you just sound bitter. Like Nino Brown, cancel that trick, I'll buy another one. Hey baby, you still mad at me? Forget you then. It's my world, my money, something wrong with you. You bitter. That's all that is, man. Hey, any dude walking around talking about he don't love a woman, don't want a woman, you're bitter, something wrong with you. You naturally want one, man. And ain't nothing wrong with taking your time to get yourself together where you can receive the right one, man, because they out there. So anybody run around talking about there ain't no good ones out there. No, they out there, straight up. They just preserved for purpose. You ain't got your stuff together. So he's hiding it from you for right now, but it's for you, straight up. Now, it's all about us taking authority back, man. In our mind and in our heart. That Christ consciousness, man. Because the families need it, man. The women, they need it. You know, not justifying their behavior at all. Because y'all play a part, straight up. We all do. But thing is this, everybody can see a problem. But who's talking about the solution, though? If you ain't talking about the solution, you're just a part of regurgitating the pollution. So let's get it right, y'all. Let's get it right. We attract what we are in the mental state of what we are in that presence. Integrity attracts integrity. Integrity attracts integrity automatically. Light attracts light. When they say whatever's loose on earth should be loose on heaven, whatever's loose on heaven should be loose on earth, that means you become heaven. Heaven is at hand. Operate in that energy, heavenly energy. Operate in that. You know what you receive? More. The increase, man. With the understanding and the application. I'm out, y'all. Exodus effect. Escaping the bondage mindset. Let's go. Love y'all.